Welcome. In this video, I am going to solve these set of questions. So first, let us start with question number 1. Question number 1 is find 28% of 84. So in question number 1, we have to find 28% of 84 is how much? So let us start solving this question. Now, 28% of 84, this I will write it in mathematics as 28% multiplied to 84. 28% of 84, this statement I will write it in mathematics as 28% multiplied to 84. Now, 28%. 28% means 28 out of 100. And 28 out of 100, I will write it as 28 upon 100. So 28% is 28 upon 100. That is multiplied to 84. Now 84, I can write it as 84 upon 1. 84, I can write it as 84 upon 1. So 28% multiplied to 84 becomes 28 upon 100 multiplied to 84 upon 1. And this is multiplication of fractions. So this expression is nothing but multiplication of fractions. So let us solve it. So how I am going to solve this is, I am going to multiply the numerators to each other and then I will multiply the denominators to each other. So first let us multiply the numerators to each other. So 28 multiplied to 84. So how much is that? So let us do it over here. So 28 multiplied to 84. We are multiplying the numerators to each other. So 28 into 84. So 8 into 4 is 32. So carry forward 3. 4 into 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Then 8 into 8 is 64. Carry forward 6. 8 into 2 is 16. 16 plus 6 is 22. So 2, 4 plus 1, 5, 2 plus 1, 3, and then 2. So 28 multiplied to 84 is 2352. So when we multiply the numerators to each other, we get 2352. So 2352, this is the numerator. And now we will multiply the denominators to each other. So 100 multiplied to 1. 100 into 1 is 100. So the denominator is 100. So we get 2352 upon 100. And this means 2352 divided by 100. So how much is 2352 divided by 100? It is 23.52. So this is the answer for question number 1. 28% of 84 is 23.52. And if you didn't understand this particular step, 2352 upon 100, how I got this as 23.52, I will explain it to you over here. So we have 2352 upon 100. So this means 2352 divided by 100. So 2352 divided by 100. Now this I can write it as 2352.0 divided by 100. 2352 divided by 100, this means 2352.0 divided by 100, because 2352 means 2352.0. Now there is a rule. The rule is, whenever we are dividing by 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, lakhs, 10 lakhs, crores or 1 crores, the decimal has to be shifted to the left hand side. So I will write down the rule. The rule is, when we are dividing by either 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh and like this, the decimal of the dividend, the decimal of the dividend has to be shifted to the left, So this is the dividend and this is the divisor. So we are dividing by 100. So therefore the decimal of this dividend has to be moved to the left hand side. Now how many places do we have to move it to the left hand side? How many places this decimal has to be moved to the left hand side? That depends on the number of zeros of the divisor. So I will write it down. The number of places the decimal has to be shifted, the decimal of the dividend has to be shifted depends on the number of zeros of the divisor. So this decimal has to be shifted to the left hand side, and the number of places that it has to be shifted depends on the number of zeros of the divisor. So this is the dividend, this is the divisor. We are dividing. Now this divisor has 2 zeros. 100 has 2 zeros. So therefore this decimal of the dividend has to be shifted to the left hand side by 2 places, because the divisor 100 has 2 zeros. So therefore the decimal of the dividend has to be moved to the left hand side by 2 places. So let us move this 2 places to the left hand side. Let us move the decimal of the dividend 2 places to the left hand side. So this will be 1 place and this will be the second place. So it will come in between 3 and 5. So it will be 23.520. So we will get 23.520, and 23.520 I can simply say 23.52. So that is how I got the answer. 2352 upon 100, this means 2352 divided by 100, and the answer that I get is 23.52. So this is the working of how I got this answer, and this is the rule. This rule is applicable when we are dividing by either 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh or 10 lakhs or 1 crore or 10 crores in that case. So whenever a dividend is getting divided by either 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh or 10 lakhs, in that case the decimal of the dividend has to be moved to the left hand side, and the number of places it has to be moved to the left hand side, that depends on the number of zeros in the divisor. So using this rule I got this answer. So this is the answer for question number 1. Now let us go to question number 2. Find 16% of 1.05. So in question number 2 we have to find 16% of 1.05 is how much? So let us start solving question number 2. Now 16% of 1.05. This statement I will write it in mathematics as 16% multiplied to 1.05. So 16% of 1.05, this statement in mathematics I will write it as 16% multiplied to 1.05. Now 16% means 16 out of 100. 16% means 16 out of 100, and 16 out of 100 I will write it as 16 upon 100. So 16% is 16 upon 100 multiplied to 1.05. Now 1.05 is 1.05 upon 1. 1.05 I can write it as 1.05 upon 1. Now 16 upon 100 multiplied to 1.05 upon 1. Now look at 1.05 upon 1. Here in the numerator I am having 1.05. So look at the expression 1.05 upon 1. In the numerator I am having 1.05. I want to remove this decimal because in 1.05 I have the decimal. I want to remove this decimal. So now this will become, so 16 upon 100 multiplied to, so 1.05 upon 1. In the numerator I am having 1.05 and I want to remove this decimal. So therefore this will become, so if I remove the decimal, this will become 105. So 1.05 will become 105 because I have removed the decimal. And the denominator 1 will become 100. So 1.05 upon 1 becomes 105 upon 100. Now how did this transformation happen? I will explain to you. So we have 1.05 upon 1. 1.05 upon 1. Now I want to remove this decimal. So what I did was I multiplied 1.05 by 100, because if I multiply 1.05 with 100 I will get 105, and with that the decimal will get removed. So therefore this numerator I multiplied with 100. So 1.05 I multiplied with 100. Now the same operation I have to do with the denominator also. So this denominator 1 will also get multiplied with 100. So therefore if you solve this you will get 105 upon 100. 1.05 into 100 is 105 and 1 into 100 is 100. Now 1.05 into 100 is 105. Again you have to use this same rule, but instead of division this is now multiplication. So the rule becomes, when we are multiplying by either 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh, the decimal of the number which is getting multiplied, that decimal has to be shifted to the right hand side. So while doing multiplication with 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakhs, 1 crore, 10 crores, the number which is getting multiplied, the decimal of that number will be shifted to the right hand side. While doing division, you shift it to the left hand side, but while doing multiplication, you shift it to the right hand side. So here, this decimal will get shift to the right hand side. And how many places will it get shift to the right hand side? That depends on the number of zeros. So here we are multiplying by 100. 100 has 2 zeros. So you will shift this decimal to the right hand side by 2 places. So 1 place, 2 place. So it becomes 105.0, which is nothing but 105. So therefore 1.05 into 100 is 105. So 1.05 upon 1 becomes 105 by 100. So now I have 16 upon 100 multiplied to 105 upon 100. And this is multiplication of fractions. So let us now solve this. So what I will do is, I will multiply the numerators to each other and then I will multiply the denominators to each other. So first let us multiply the numerators to each other. So 16 into 105. So let us do it over here. So 105 into 16. So how much is that? So 5 6 are 30 and 6 1s are 6. 1 into 5 is 5, 1 into 0 is 0, 1 into 1 is 1. So 0, 5 plus 3, 8, 6 and this 1. 1680. So 105 multiplied to 16 is 1680. So when we multiply the numerators to each other, we get 1680. So 1680. This is the numerator upon. Now let us multiply the denominators to each other. So 100 into 100. So what is 100 into 100? So 1 into 1 is 1, and then here there are 2 zeros, here there are 2 zeros. So 2 plus 2 is 4. So I will add 4 zeros over here. So this is 10,000. So 100 into 100 is 10,000. So we have in the denominator 10,000. So 1680 upon 10,000. So this 0 I will cancel with this 0. So now I have 168 upon 1000. So what is 168 upon 1000? This means 168 divided by 1000. So 168 divided by 1000. And we have just written the rule over here. So 168 divided by 1000 means 168.0 divided by 1000. So here we are dividing this dividend by 1000. So this rule we will apply. So the rule says, whenever we are dividing by 10, 100, 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh or 10 lakhs or crores or 10 crores, what we have to do is, we have to shift the decimal of the dividend to the left hand side. Now how many places do we have to shift this decimal of the dividend to the left hand side? That depends on the number of zeros of the divisor. So the divisor is 1000. 1000 has 3 zeros. So we will shift the decimal of the dividend 3 places to the left hand side. So let us do it. So 168.0. shift it 3 places to the left hand side. So 1 place, 2 place, 3 place. So it will come over here. So I will put the decimal over here and I will add a 0 over here. So it is 0.1680. So 0.1680, or simply I can say 0.168. So the answer is 0.168. So 16% of 1.05 is 0.168. Now let us go to question number 3. Question number 3 is, find 0.03% of 0.008. So we have to find 0.03% of 0.008 is how much? So 0.03% of 0.008. This statement I will write it in mathematics as 0.03% multiplied to 0.008. Now 0.03%, this means 0.03 out of 100, and 0.03 out of 100 I will write it as 0.03 upon 100 multiplied to 0.008. Now 0.008 I can write it as 0.008 upon 1. So we have 0.03 upon 100 multiplied to 0.008 upon 1. Now look at this expression, 0.03 upon 100. I want to remove this decimal. So 0.03 upon 100. In the numerator I am having 0.03 and I want to remove this decimal. So therefore this expression will now become 3 upon 10,000. 0.03 upon 100 will now become 3 upon 10,000. How did this expression become this? So 0.03, I want to remove the decimal. So what I am going to do is, I am going to multiply 0.03 with 100. If I multiply 0.03 with 100, I will get 3. Because whenever you are multiplying with 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakhs, crore, 10 crores, the decimal of the number which you are multiplying, the decimal you have to shift it to the right hand side. And how many places will this decimal be shifted to the right hand side? That depends on the number of zeros. So 100 has 2 zeros. So therefore this decimal will be shifted to the right hand side by 2 places. So 1 place, 2 place. So it comes over here. So 003.0 and 003.0 is simply 3.0 and 3.0 means 3. So therefore 0.03 multiplied to 100 is 3. Now I am multiplying the numerator with 100. So I will multiply the denominator also with 100. So 100 into 100. 100 into 100 is 10,000. So therefore this expression became 3 upon 10,000. That is multiplied to. Now look at this expression, 0.008 upon 1. Here in the numerator I am having 0.008. I want to remove this decimal. So therefore this expression will now become 8 upon 1000. 0.008 upon 1 will become 8 upon 1000. How did this expression become 8 upon 1000? I will explain to you. So 0.008, this is in the numerator, and in the denominator I am having 1. So in the numerator I am having 0.008. I want to remove this decimal. So I will multiply 0.008 with 1000. because if I multiply 0.008 with 1000, I will get 8. How? So here I am multiplying by 1000. So whenever we are multiplying by 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakhs, crore, 10 crores, the number which we are multiplying, the decimal of that number has to be shifted to the right hand side. So this decimal will be shifted to the right hand side. Now how many places will it get shifted to the right hand side? That depends on the number of zeros. So 1000 has 3 zeros. So we will shift the decimal of this number to the right hand side by 3 places. So 1 place, 2 place, 3 place. So it comes over here. So 0008.0 and 0008.0 is simply 8.0 and 8.0 is 8. So therefore 0.008 multiplied to 1000 is 8. Now I am multiplying the numerator by 1000. So I will multiply this denominator 1 also with 1000. And 1 into 1000 is 1000. So the denominator becomes 1000. So 0.008 upon 1 becomes 8 upon 1000. So now I have 3 upon 10,000 multiplied to 8 upon 1000. And this is multiplication of fractions. So let us do it. So first I will multiply the numerators to each other. So 3 into 8. 3 into 8 is 24. So the numerator is 24. And now I will multiply the denominators to each other. So 10,000 multiplied to 1000. So that will be 1 into 1 is 1. And 10,000 has 4 zeros. 1000 has 3 zeros. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So there, now I will add 7 zeros after 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have added 7 zeros after 1. So this becomes 1 crore. 10,000 into 1000 is 1 crore. So the denominator is 1 crore. Numerator is 24 and the denominator is 1 crore. So 24 upon 1 crore. And how much is 24 upon 1 crore? So 24 upon 1 crore means 24 divided by 1 crore. So 24 divided by 1 crore. So 24 divided by 1 crore means 24.0 divided by 1 crore. And now we will apply the rule that we have written over here. When we are dividing by either 10 or 1000, 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh, the decimal of the dividend has to be shifted to the left hand side. So here the dividend is 24.0 and the divisor is 1 crore. So we will shift the decimal of the dividend to the left hand side. And how many places we are going to shift it to the left hand side? That depends on the number of zeros of the divisor. So 1 crore has 7 zeros. So we will shift the decimal of the dividend to the left hand side by 7 places. So let us do it. So 24.0. So this has to be shifted to the left hand side 7 places. So 1 place, 2 place, 3 place, 4 place, 5 place, 6 place, 7 place. So it has now come over here. And now this I will fill it up with zeros. And I will add a 0 over here. So it is 0.0000240. So we have 0.12345. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 240. And this I can simply write it as 0.12345. So 5 zeros, 24. This 0 can be omitted. This 0 can be removed. So this is the answer. So the answer is 0.12345. There are 5 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros and then 24. So this is the answer for question number 3. Now let us go to question number 4. Find 3 by 4% of 150. So we have to find 3 by 4% of 150 is how much? So let us do it. So this statement in mathematics, I will write it as 3 by 4% multiplied to 150. Now 3 by 4%. 3 by 4% means 3 by 4 out of 100. And 3 by 4 out of 100, I will write it as 3 by 4 upon 100. So 3 by 4% is 3 by 4 out of 100, which is 3 by 4 upon 100 multiplied to 150. 150 I can write it as 150 upon 1. Now 3 by 4 upon 100, this is 3 upon 400. 3 by 4 upon 100, this expression is 3 upon 400. Now hope you understood how I converted this expression into this form. I will explain to you over here. So 3 by 4 upon 100. 3 by 4 upon 100. So this means 3 by 4 divided by 100. 3 by 4 upon 100 means 3 by 4 divided by 100. And this I can write it as 3 by 4 divided by 100 by 1. 100 means 100 by 1. So 3 by 4 divided by 100 by 1. Now this is division of fractions. So we can convert it to multiplication of fraction. So this will become 3 by 4 multiplied to, we have to take the reciprocal of this expression. So reciprocal of 100 by 1 is 1 by 100. So 3 by 4 into 1 by 100. And we know how to do multiplication of fractions. So multiply the numerators to each other. 3 into 1 is 3. So the numerator is 3. Multiply the denominators to each other. 4 into 100 is 400. So the denominator is 400. So 3 by 400. So that is how I got 3 by 400. So 3 by 4 upon 100 is 3 by 400. And the reasoning or the working is shown over here. So 3 upon 400, that is multiplied to 150 upon 1. And now this is multiplication of fractions. So let us do it. So 150 and 400 both are divisible by 50. So I will divide both 150 and 400 by 50. So 150 divided by 50 is 3 and 400 divided by 50 is 8. And now I can't simplify anything further. So it becomes 3 by 8 into 3 by 1. So multiply the numerators to each other. So 3 into 3 is 9. So 9 is the numerator. And now multiply the denominators to each other. So 8 into 1 is 8. So the denominator is 8. So 9 by 8. This is the answer. 9 by 8 is the answer for question number 4. 9 by 8 is in fractional form. You can either keep your answer in fractional form or in decimal form. So 9 by 8 is in fractional form, and if you want to convert it into decimal form, you can do that. So 9 by 8. 9 by 8 means 9 divided by 8. So let us find what is 9 divided by 8. So 9 divided by 8. 8 is the divisor, 9 is the dividend. So 8 ones are 8, remainder 1. Put the decimal. Because of the decimal, add a 0. 8 ones are 8, remainder is 2. Because of the decimal, add a 0. 8 twos are 16, remainder is 4. Because of the decimal, add a 0. 8 fives are 40. Remainder is 0. So 9 divided by 8 is 1.125. So it is 1.125. So the answer for question number 4 is 1.125. This is in decimal representation. And if you want to give your answer in fractional form, it is 9 by 8. And now let us go to the last question of this video. Find 1 2/3% of 3/5. So we have to find 1 2/3% of 3/5 is how much? So this statement I will write it in mathematics as 1 2/3% multiplied to 3/5. Now 1 2/3, this is a mixed fraction, so I will convert this mixed fraction into improper fraction. So 1 2/3, when I convert it into improper fraction, this will become 3 into 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, so 5/3. So 5/3% multiplied to 3/5. Now 5/3% means 5/3 out of 100, and 5/3 out of 100 I will write it as 5/3 upon 100. So 5/3% is 5/3 upon 100 multiplied to 3/5. Now 5/3 upon 100, this is 5 upon 300. 5/3 upon 100, this is 5 upon 300. You can get this by applying the logic that I have done for the previous question. 3/4 upon 100 is 3/400. So using the same logic, 5/3 upon 100 is 5/300 multiplied to 3/5. And now this is multiplication of fractions, so let us solve it. 5/5, both are divisible by 5, so 5 divided by 5 is 1, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 3 and 300, both are divisible by 3, so 3 divided by 3 is 1, 300 divided by 3 is 100. So 1/100 into 1/1, which is 1/100. So 1/100 is the answer in fractional form for question number 5. And if you want to convert it into decimal form, you can do that also. So 1/100 means 1 divided by 100. Now 1 divided by 100 means 1.0 divided by 100. And now we can apply this rule which we have written. When we are dividing by either 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh, the decimal of the dividend has to be shifted to the left hand side. So here, this is the dividend, 1.0 is the dividend and 100 is the divisor. So we are dividing by 100. So the decimal of the dividend has to be shifted to the left hand side. Now how many places do we have to shift it to the left hand side? That depends on the number of zeros of the divisor. 100 has 2 zeros. So this decimal of the dividend has to be shifted to the left hand side by 2 places. So let us do it. So 1.0. So this is one place, this is the second place. So the decimal has come over here. So put a 0 here, and this I will put a 0 over here. So it is 0.010, and 0.010 I can simply write it as 0.01. This 0 we can omit. So 0.01. So this answer is 0.01. So for question number 5, the decimal answer is 0.01. And if you want to give your answer in fractional form, it is 1/100. So this is how you can solve such kind of questions.